from the prestigious law office of Pechnick, and Schaefer. And now it's time for the hockey spin with Tracy Lynn, but I just want to interject this. I have to talk about this. Long Beach has always been a hockey town, but with the Knicks' huge trade, getting Carmelo Anthony to go with Amari Stoudemire, this is the first time the Knicks, all these kids growing up in Long Beach, this is the first time they're going to have a good team, a team that actually might have superstars to root for. So could Long Beach be turning into a basketball town?
No.
Let's hear from the hockey, Tracy with the hockey spin.
I won't allow it to become a basketball town. This is a hockey town first and foremost. Get that straight right now. Okay, well, I have to start out with another one of my passions is the ocean. I've been a certified scuba diver for many, many years. I've been diving all over the place, and I am an actual ocean activist. I'm a member of several organizations where we try to clean up the oceans, keep sharks safe, and dolphins and whales, and what have you. I'm now a part of Operation Splash, and how does this tie into hockey? Well, here's how. The New York Islanders have teamed up with Operation Splash to raise money to support the effort to clean up the South Shore of Long Island. Operation Splash has these flyers around town to purchase great seats to the Islanders' April 8th game at discounted prices. Now, here's the thing about this game. They will be meeting the Pittsburgh Penguins for the first time since the all-out brawl 2 weeks ago. This is a game you want to be at. It's their last home game of the season. They're playing a team that there is horrible blood, and you get amazing seats. You can get lower-level seats for $50. So be sure to go around town, pick up a flyer, get tickets. I'll be at that game. I hope to see you there. If you're not around town, you can go to operationsplash.net and you can buy tickets directly through there. And part of the proceeds from the tickets will go to Operation Splash and help keep our waters clean here around Long Beach and throughout New York and the world. Okay. Speaking of the Islanders, they continue to roll. They have 8 wins in their last 11 games. Matt Molson scored his second career hat trick yesterday afternoon against the Florida Panthers, leading the Islanders to a 5-1 victory. El Montoya was solid in net again after posting a shutout against the LA Kings on Saturday night. Believe it or not, the Islanders are only 11 points behind Carolina for the 8th and final playoff spot with 22 games remaining. The Devils are also surging and are 10 points out of the 8th spot. The Devils are playing a very tough Dallas team tonight, but they're also making a push for the playoffs. Here's a Tracy disclaimer. A lot of people are saying the Devils are still in the hunt for a playoff spot. Well, if they are, then so are the Islanders. I'm just saying. The Rangers are holding on to the 7th place in the conference. They have won 2 of their last 10, so they're not doing so hot. They're in a little bit of a free fall. They're in Carolina tonight. The Islanders are taking on the Maple Leafs tonight.
They're tied 1-1.
They're all tied 1-1, I was about to say. 1 goal all around. And it's really the most wonderful time of the year for me. It's the NHL trade deadline next Monday, February 28th. I'd like to call that repeatedly refresh the TSN Trade Tracker website day. It's a very special holiday. The trades have been way more interesting than last year already, and I'm very excited for Monday. The big trade, of course, was the Toronto Maple Leafs. They traded defenseman Thomas Kaberle over to the Boston Bruins for really nothing. I mean, he's the second leading scorer and defenseman for the Toronto Maple Leafs. You expect him to get more than just a prospect and a pick and so forth for that, but that's what they got. And General Manager Brian Burke has said he's not done yet. The Bruins also traded defenseman Mark Stewart and forward Blake Wheeler to Atlanta in exchange for Rich Peverly and defenseman Boris Valabic. In a trade that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, the Ottawa Senators sent goaltender Brian Elliott to Colorado in exchange for their goaltender, Craig Anderson. And then yesterday, the Pittsburgh Penguins traded defenseman Alex Goligoski to the Dallas Stars in exchange for forwards Jane Neal and defenseman Matt Niskanen. This is a really good trade for both teams, really. Goligoski is an excellent defenseman, and the Penguins really need some offense with Malkin done for the season and Crosby out with a concussion. Neal is going to definitely be a big role in their power play. And I'll have a full recap of the trade deadline on next weekend's edition of the Hockey Spin with Tracy Lynn. And before I go, I want to say congratulations to the Long Beach Marines for winning the Suffolk County High School Hockey League Championship in their inaugural season in the league. The Marines beat the Connecticut Sayville T-Birds by a final score of 4-2 to complete their sweep in the best-of-3 series, and goalie Harris Patinsky was named MVP. The team now advances to the state tournament, and we wish them good luck on their quest for a state championship. I'll see you next week on the Hockey Spin with Tracy Lynn.
Woo! All right, great job, Tracy Lynn. It's a front-page story in this week's Long Beach Herald. Research find bays are polluted. Steve did a great job. on that story last week. Had Scott Bachner in, did an interview. Scott was quoted in the story, and now Steve is going to do a follow-up on that. It's a huge story here in Long Beach, so let's bring in Steve Kenner to talk about that story. Big story here in Long Beach. Let's find out what the research is showing and what this big story is all about right now.
Thank you, Howie. Since we were talking about the history of Long Beach, now it's time to kind of talk about the present and the future of Long Beach. This study that came out pretty much confirmed what everyone knew, that the western bays were polluted. For a while, people suspected because of the smell and because of the overgrowth of seaweed that something was going on. But without an actual study to give those results, you can't really go after state and federal funds because you need it to be, declared at that level of pollution. So, actually, next Tuesday night, we have at the Long Beach Library, the Mid-Island Surf Riders have a meeting from 7 to 9 p.m. They're going to have in the Commissioner of the Department of Public Works, Shyla Shaw, and she's going to be talking about some of these issues. What's going on with the cleanup. Basically what's going on is the Bay Park sewage treatment plant is spilling treated or untreated waste into the Western Bays, which is, for those of you locally, really, that's the Reynolds Channel, well, that's not good. So we have a meeting that night, and they're also going to be showing a short film called Cycle of Insanity, Know Your H2O. That's all about the water cycle and how it affects us here. We really like the local community to show up because it really does affect all of us. And you'll have an opportunity to ask questions and hopefully get some answers about the progress of the situation. Again, that meeting is at Long Beach Library next Tuesday, March 1st from 7 to 9 p.m. Also that night, for those of you that are interested, is the second Taste of Long Beach event, which will be at Nick's Tuscan Grill. That'll be from 5:30 to 7:30. Hopefully it's filling up fast, so you have to get your reservations in. You can pick up flyers at the Long Beach Library. They should be on I believe, the pink sheets for the and that's to support the Friends of the Long Beach Library, which goes to support and supplement the funding for all programs going on in the library, including things like Walter's event there, and plenty of the concerts that have come through. That was the Folk to Funk Festival a couple weeks ago. So it's really important that you show up for these things to support your library and support the local events that are going in Long Beach and the health of our waters. And that also throws into what Tracy said with Operation Splash, because the group that is doing this coming event at the library is the Mid-Island Surf Riders, but it's also in conjunction with Operation Splash, and now there's the Sludge Stoppers Task Force, which is spearheading the effort to deal with this specific situation in the Western Bays.
Very good. Great job, Steve. We'll continue to keep everyone updated, and we'll bring in guests to talk about this situation, but we're certainly on top of it. I got an email this week. I want to promote this. I got an email from a young vocalist. His name is Chris Banks. He's going to be performing at the library this Thursday at 7 p.m. And one of the reasons he's going to be performing is he's going to be doing a tribute to the young boy that passed away so tragically a few weeks ago at the MLK Center, Shakur Moore. So this concert,
Video's posted on YouTube.
it's posted on YouTube. The tribute, Walter did a great job on the video. The Shakur Moore tribute is posted on YouTube, so you can watch it. Just go to Halftime Howie Shakur Moore tribute. You can watch that on YouTube. And check out, support Chris Banks. He's going to be at the library Thursday at 7 p.m. He's an excellent vocalist, and he's going to be doing a tribute to Shakur Moore. So it's a great concert, and more importantly, it's for a great cause. Chris couldn't be here tonight, but we told him that we would definitely promote that event. Before we get into Eddie's music, I am so pumped up about tomorrow night because my son got tickets 8 weeks ago for the Knicks-Bucks game for my birthday, and now I get the added presence of it's going to be the debut of Carmelo Anthony with Amari Stoudemire. I think the Garden is going to be rocking. But the biggest St. John's fan in all of Long Beach is my friend Eddie Digital. The resurgence of St. John's is unbelievable. In the last 2 weeks, they've beaten top 10 teams, Duke, Connecticut, and now Pitt. St. John's is back! Eddie, how pumped up are you about the Johnnies?
All right, man. Woo! Well, I'll tell you, halftime, we are so fortunate that the university really went behind the program, and they went out there and they hired a great coach, Steve Lavin. Steve Lavin has done so much for the program. First off, assembling the new coaching staff, really motivating the players. The goal this year was to make the NCAA tournament, which we're a lock-in, and he has the #2 recruiting class in the country coming in next year. So New York is alive again, college basketball is alive at the Garden, and the Garden is rocking.
All right. Now, Eddie, before we get into the business of music, I just want to salute 3 Long Beach wrestling champions. Undefeated Dylan Palacios from Long Beach High School, Mac Ragadandan, and he was on the cover of the Long Beach Herald, Evan DeJesus. So let's root on our 3 Long Beach County wrestling champions and hope they can bring home state championships to Long Beach this coming weekend. But Eddie, let's give it up for the Business of Music Report with my man, the one and only Eddie Digital.
All right, WGBB, welcome to this week's edition of the Business of Music with Eddie Digital. Halftime Howie and I, we had a conversation during the week, and Halftime was telling me what great guests, what legends we were going to have on the show, talking about the history of Long Beach. So Howie and I, we were discussing, let's go over the famous people in the music industry that either live in Long Beach currently or were born and raised in Long Beach. So I put together a little nice list here of the top and the top, and we're going to count them down. I'm going to close it with Eddie Digital's top 3 famous people from Long Beach in the music business, and then we have 1 or 2 events that are really great music events in Long Beach that you really have to attend every year. So first off, let's go through the famous list of people from Long Beach. First off, Mark O'Connor, drummer of the emo band Taking Back Sunday. Vinny Arcadian, guitarist of the band, the alternative rock band, the Brand Nubians. Billy Joe. Now, I am wearing this sweatshirt, even though Billy did not make the top 3 list. I'm wearing this Southampton sweatshirt for my friend Billy. Billy was actually born up in the Bronx, raised in Hicksville, but before he was clowning around and parading in the Hamptons, Billy Joe lived in Long Beach. Ruth Underwood. Ruth played string instruments in the Frank Zappa band for 10 years with Frank. Rick Rubin, the famous, the great Rick Rubin, record promoter, record producer, record executive, went to Long Beach High School. MF Doom, underground hip-hop artist, went to Long Beach High School. Albert Agnastia, owner of the gangster rap label Murder Inc., has an oceanfront house in Long Beach. Now we get down to the top 3, folks. Coming in at number 3, the 1990 hit rock and roll / metal band Dream Theater. Mike Perante of Dream Theater from the 90s. The reason why he really makes the list, folks, is not only is he a famous rock star who was brought up in Long Beach, but his dad was a rock and roll disc jockey, and he was on many stations in Long Island, including Long Island's oldest station, WGBB. So he comes in at number 3. At number 2, I love rock and roll, so put another dime in the jukebox, baby. Joan Jett in her prime from the 80s. And this is what Joan Jett looks like now. She looks fantastic. Joan Jett is currently living on the east end of Long Beach on the boardwalk, and in the summertime you can see her riding her bike, you can see her jogging on the boardwalk. So Joan is a Long Beach resident, and coming in at number 1. Now, I'm going to give you a little hint, because you look marvelous. Not only is he an actor, but he is one of the biggest entertainers in America. He's a household name, Mr. Billy Crystal. Mr. Billy Crystal was brought up in Long Beach. He attended Long Beach High School. He got a baseball scholarship from Long Beach High School to go to Marshall College. He's one of America's most loved entertainers, and what really puts him in number 1 is Billy's dad owned a musical instrument shop in Long Beach when Billy was going to high school, and he was also a jazz concert promoter here in Long Beach. Okay, in closing, a few really important things to look for in Long Beach. Every summer, we have free summer concert series in July and August, Tuesday and Thursday evenings on the boardwalk. There are free concerts. It's a great time. Take the family out. Long Beach Jazz Festival every September in Long Beach Library. A great time. Go down, have fun. And I do want to mention also we have in Long Beach, we have the musical instrument stores on Park Avenue in Long Beach. We have the musical instrument recording and lessons in Oceanside on Long Beach Road, and neighboring Long Beach in New Hyde Park is the American Guitar Museum. The owner actually lives in Long Beach. And just to really close things up here is I think we're also making a little history of ourselves here every Tuesday night at Picnic Pector and Schaefer, where we do this great show about Long Beach and we bring you up to speed about what's happening in the music industry. Thank you, WGBB. Back to halftime, Howie.
Great job, individual. All right, we're going to take our last break of the evening. This is Halftime Howie, listening to Broadcasting on the Beach with Halftime Howie from the prestigious law office of Pecnic and Schaefer on Long Island's first and oldest radio station, WGBB.